What is going on, Debt Free Mafia? Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm so glad that you're stopping by, and today I wanted to talk about some certain used cars. Yeah, that's right, used cars that I want you to stay away from. It's kind of surprised me. I was going through this list. It's according to consumerreports.com. If you're not familiar with Consumer Reports, they've been testing things for a really long time, and they have done lots of studies on, what is a good product for you to buy. They have rigorous tests for all kinds of things, and they came out recently with an article talking about the used car brands that you should avoid. Not just the brands, but the models too. So I think it's kind of hit and miss with some of the certain brands. I mean, there's some brands that have great used models, and they also have bad used models. So kind of depends. But we're about to jump into that. Hey guys, if you don't know me, my name is Rick. I am a financial coach and the owner of the Debt Free Mafia, and I'm so glad that you're stopping by today to check this out. If you are all about that debt-free living, if you want to be financially bulletproof, if you love the idea of having ultimate freedom to do what the heck you want to do, this channel is for you. What we do is we talk about financial freedom and how it buys us the availability to be able to leave our job if we need to pursue a dream career, to be able to go on that dream vacation, build that dream home, be able to provide a future to not only our children but our children's children. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead, hit subscribe. Love to have you here. But we're going to jump into it. So this is going to be on motorbiscuit.com. They our website. They took basically what Consumer Reports had said and labeled out. I liked it because they included pictures. That way you can kind of see it. Some of these were kind of surprising to me, and believe it or not, your boy drives one of those vehicles, and he didn't know it. And I think if you watched the channel, I explained earlier about how my brakes went out on my truck, and it was like $1,200 to fix all of it. And yep, if I overpaid for that, let me know in the comments, because I got told on Instagram that I overpaid for that. But I also live in an oil town, and it's really expensive to get your vehicle fixed here compared to normal cities that might have more competitive shops that don't have quite as much traffic or companies paying for it. So let me go ahead and jump into this. When we do screen share. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that all right. I'm going to make myself a little bigger. Okay, so first one, Chrysler Town & Country, right? This is when you think of mom car, what do you think of? Yeah, this. I actually have some friends that drive one. I've never heard them complain about it before, so, it might be one of those vehicles that's hit or miss. I have heard that Dodge kind of has a track record of not being the most reliable, and Chrysler falls under that. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, they're all owned by the same people, so they kind of fall under that same umbrella. But yeah, there's the minivan. So this is a really attractive option for people who are wanting to, that have a family and wanting to stay used car route. This is one that you might want to be sure that you're test driving and get like a Carfax report on. Check it out first. So there's 30 of these, so I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to kind of bruise through them. There's some in there that are surprising, so I hope you stick around. All right, BMW X5. Now this one I was not at all surprised by. This one, I feel like these BMW SUVs pop up constantly on the do not buy lists that I see. And also my neighbor has one, and he said it is an absolute pain to take care of. One thing I want you to really consider when looking at foreign cars, and this might be a theme, I don't know, I'm reacting to this for the first time, but I do know for a fact on some of these foreign cars like BMW, Mercedes, sometimes Lexus can be up and down, it depends, but you have these luxury brands that they're hard to service a lot of the times. Lexus probably not as much, but BMW and Mercedes are hard to service. So if you live in a rural area, say you're not in or close to a major city, it can be very difficult, because I grew up in a really small rural town, and there was only one mechanic who knew how to work on these types of vehicles, so obviously he was able to charge more, and they're apparently more difficult to work on. So BMW and Mercedes, I would urge you ultra caution there, because they still sell for a premium, and they're, believe it or not, very reliable. They're not reliable cars for the most part, so be careful there. Ford Fiesta, this one actually surprised me, but this was it said Ford had 9 models show up among the worst reliability, but small cars had the worst performance of any blue oval segment. It says for the model years 2011, 2014 stood out in particular. So this is a car brand you're going to want to stay away from. Here I am. I drive a Ram 1500 myself. Granted, mine's a 2007, so these tend to be more newer models, but I'm old school apparently. It's hard for me to believe that 2007 is an old vehicle now, but anyways, yeah, I've had numerous problems with it. It's been the check engine light stays on, and it's because I have an O2 sensor that's bad, and to replace it, I have to replace all of them, and it's like almost $2,000. And I was like, yeah, I'll just drive with the check engine light on. But I got that. It's paid for, right? Paid for, so I don't have to worry about it. So Ram 1500, Volkswagen Jetta. This one actually kind of surprised me. I didn't know that. I thought that the Jettas were slightly more reliable than that. Volkswagen tends to be kind of a good brand outside of their big scandal that they had recently, but that one kind of surprised me. So Volkswagen Jetta, Cadillac Escalade. This one does not surprise me. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's like an Escalade gets to like 4 years old and they just look like they're falling apart. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's just like, I don't know what the deal is with them, but they just, I always get real, they're also the ones, I've always noticed this, but Cadillacs are always the ones, especially these Escalades, are always the ones that are like real squeaky when they're like making a turn. Like the suspension's like really jacked up. I was like, man, what happens? Because whoever bought that, like this one right here, like the new Cadillac models are like $80,000 starting off. I think they even have some six-figure Cadillac options now, which is just crazy to me. Audi Q7. This is the other foreign brand I was talking about. Audis look sick. I love Audis. I think they look so cool, but they are just not reliable. They are not good cars. If you were going to buy an Audi, I'd say make sure that you are just in a really well-off position and can buy it in cash, and you can afford heavy maintenance, because oil changes are more expensive for Audis, BMWs, and Mercedes than they would be, say, like a Chevy Malibu or something like that. Fiat. This one's not really a big shock to me either. Again, it's kind of an interesting car that only so many people can service as well. So that one's you want to be kind of cautious of. Tesla Model X, believe it or not. These are not as reliable as a lot of people think. A lot of people think that Tesla is just an incredible brand and they can't do anything wrong. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Tesla fan. Tesla Model X is actually one of my dream vehicles. So my goal would be able to buy it new, but I think that might be really hard to do. And I don't know exactly how the selling on those works. If you know, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that you can buy certified used Teslas, and they can come, you can either add on some sort of warranty through Tesla or something like that. That's the way I understood it. It says the Falcon wing door design is generally, testers called out weakness in the Falcon wing door design. So they have the fancy doors that go up, right? It's to help you get in and out of an SUV in a tight parking spot. So hopefully that's something that they fix going forward. Report suggested avoiding the 16 Model X. So be careful which one you buy. I'm gonna attach this list below. So if you want to do it or want to look at this in greater detail, you can feel free to go check that out. I got the Chevrolet Silverado 2500, which is interesting. They have that. Mercedes GL, again, I don't know what it is about Mercedes, BMW, Audi SUVs, but they always are on these lists of not reliable cars. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this one I can believe. Again, this is a Dodge vehicle at heart. Dodge SUVs. I've driven a Dodge SUV. It seemed like its favorite thing to do was break down. It was just they just didn't feel like they were very bulletproof vehicles. And also Jeep Grand Cherokees are overpriced in my opinion for what you get. I know that they're cool. They look really cool. But you really aren't getting the dollar for dollar buy on a Jeep Grand Cherokee as you would like maybe a more inexpensive SUV the same size. Mini, again, this is like these remind me of the Fiats. They're kind of hard to service. I'm sure it's just certain years. It says Countryman from models 2007 to 2011, along with 2015, had some of the worst reliability ratings a car could have. So yeah, we might just want to avoid those in general. Dodge Charger. This one was actually surprising to me because they just mass produce these so much. It says that thumbs down for 2014 and 2015, while previous models did not get any recommendation either. Reliability was far below average, and more recent models and recalls were the norm for 2011 and 2012 editions. So those are ones you're going to be cautious on. F-250. That's interesting because we had the Chevy 2500, which is the equivalent to Ford's F-250, F-200 series. Yeah, I think this is, I wonder whether, I kind of want to read through this. Ran into a few snags, Super Duty models from 2008, 2010, 2014. Fuel system, transmission, powertrain, brake troubles, particularly plagued models 2008 and 2010. Avoid those on the market, it says. Volkswagens, back up again, the GTI. These, I remember, were really popular with especially like the street race guys. They were interested in that. It says specifically GTIs from 2012 and 2013 rated much worse than average car and reliability, engine cooling, GTI brakes, yeah, that's a big one, and suspension were noteworthy. Nissan Pathfinder. I wondered how long it was going to be until the Pathfinder was on there. I actually really generally think Nissan does a really good job, especially with some of their older vehicles. I know that there's been a lot of, you've probably seen, there's a lot of videos being made right now about the quality of this new Nissan pickup. A lot of people are very impressed with it, so we're going to see what happens with that. But Nissan sold over 150,000 Pathfinders between 2013 and 2014. The group ranks among the worst in reliability and should be avoided by used car shoppers. Chrysler PT Cruiser. My wife makes me joke because she says she sees these and said that they're like her favorite car when she was in the 6th grade when they first came out. Which is just funny to me. I've never liked them. BMW 5 Series. Again, these are hard to service. They're expensive to service. They're expensive in general. They're just not a car I would recommend to anybody, unless you just really have that blow it cash and you can afford to have a car in the shop and pay premium for it. So, Traverse, I think I've seen those are. You can find a lot of used Traverses. Again, an Audi A4, Dodge Challenger. This one was actually a little bit surprising to me. Challengers from 2015 are among the least reliable cars around due to the problems with body finish and power equipment. Set out 2013, 2014 models as well, so avoid those years. So these Volkswagens Tiguans, if I'm saying that wrong, let me know. They're unreliable from 2011, 2013. The 2012 model was only marginally better, so just avoid those. I know that there's a lot of these out on the market, so be careful there. Typically, if you're, I'll get to this very end, I'll say it at the end, but Alcadia, those, it's like you can find tons of Alcadias used also. Maybe not anymore, but when we were casually looking, it says years 2007 to 2014. So be careful on those. Mini Cooper, again, it's back up there. I've heard to stay away from those as well. Pontiac Torrent, you don't really see those very often, honestly. And they're kind of older, 2006 to 2009. Ford Focus. They ended the Ford Focus, I believe. I don't know if they did. 2012 to 2016. Pass on those, it says. Chevy Suburban. Interesting. Chevy Suburban between 14 and 16. 3 recalls, hit the 2015 models. Avoid the 2007 to 2008 editions also. So looks like you got small windows to buy there. Doesn't mean that they're going to be bulletproof cars, but it's just something to consider. Dodge Journey. Yeah, I know those are kind of popular also. 2009 to 2012, be careful there. And then the Chevrolet Cruze, which I thought was interesting too, because this is another one of those mass-produced cars, but fortunately it's just the 2011 to 2013. Completely unacceptable on this front. So be considering there. When it comes to used vehicles, and I'll go ahead and switch back here. When it comes to used vehicles, they typically drop to their lowest. So like the curve does this. So they're worth their full amount, and then they go down pretty rapidly, and then they start to taper out. So where they taper out is about after 5 years after they've been owned. So since it's 2021, for you to be able to get the car that's you're not going to lose a ton of money on, you're going to be looking for 2016 models. So if you want to get the newest possible at the cheapest price, 2016 models are the way to go. Right now the market's super pumped up because there's a chip shortage and people are still struggling financially, so used cars are way more in demand. They're up right now. If you have to buy a used car right now, what I recommend to all my clients, right on Facebook or Instagram or wherever your social media is that your family and friends can see, right on there that you are in a financial journey and you are trying to avoid a car payment because you're trying to hit financial goals. Does anybody have a car that is reliable and good under $3,000 they'd be willing to part with? Whenever you're humble and honest like that and ask for that, it does wonders. I've had clients do this, and they were able to find inexpensive cars because people are more willing to sell you a car for a cheaper price if they know it's going to a good cause, like your financial freedom. So be sure to communicate that message. If you go to a used car lot, you're going to be put through the ringer. You know how that goes. Guys, I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, go ahead and hit subscribe if you enjoy financial freedom content. If you want to become financially bulletproof, we talk about different ways to do that. Go ahead, hit subscribe, hit like for me. Go ahead and let me know in the comments before if you drive a used vehicle or purchase used vehicle. What'd you buy? Has it been reliable? I'm just curious. I'd love to know and get to know you a little bit better. Again, thank you for stopping by. Love you guys. Peace.